Kole ngambulo luku. With whatever we do. Jioni safu no la. With whatever we do. Hale yide munyu skula. Nyepamne ne kudlukula. Nyepangi ragala gena. Nyepamne ne kudlukula. Ibuloke nongoto nibe sola. Ibuloke dato nibe toto.
Bigi Congo.
Lamin.
Na?
Lamin te jibe norin te nyame Lamin.
Kabona wulo kono.
Wulo kono nyinte mo Lamin.
Pabilenki.
Muna ngata afamole.
Haina.
Ngata. Ngoto le. Fabrama.
Mingi. Baba nyole.
Ngoto le Fabrama.
Namu jumala kan kuma diteng.
Fabrama.
Jumala mu.
Ndele bare muso.
Lunda banara.
Kamo kata.
Jamani mbere.
Lindo ko.
Jamani.
Bari ngoto man kontande.
Bari jamani fana na ramudu wa kontan.
Ngoto minaka ngalamin je fo filitala. Lamin jibe nori nyala.
Lamin ila siran sama ne benki. Yala so tol sayni no ko mo la ko momo.
Ngoto.
Nam.
Itedi ndeyalo ne Lamin hakilo diata bake karambu ngoto. Anu santeng ministry ko di ngole si suoko na amanke ko do holiday
si bitun
bagona de
ala ni ko kede namo balo
ala ni na ko ina karta bulo be damna ala ni je
ngoto
nam
ngoto mon kontan fere
jamani mu ne keda
ifika Lamin ki wulo ko no nyintay mon ko do fete malo Lamin nyande sila la be la moy kala karango
jamani karamol be soron ne ko fasita wulo ko nako
karambu won ma soron ni ko karambu won soron da amanke ko holiday lem ngoto dindi ngo nyanta sila la ala karango la moy yamen kamen fue man kontan anda mande
alla nyin kombo kurang adanda la kombo len do la jankara mol soron daro kamen kurang ma daro la kombo e ko ndol fana na karamol soron je karamol soron Lamin adara lo nyino la amanta rafe na sokon ala mu nekela
Lamin ite foyde malon kon lesinol be ke kar radio to
nga fine
e ko yana di mo Lamin ya mu na fonye
bi kabin mina kan ntambita nteri maning Fatu tambide la sukol ala diningol bebe siri be la moyka
Faru dan so am fana tambida jele ni subala la ngaje diningol be jet talanta nen kili warol e be seri jelet
sa Lamin farante ku kili ko keno la ba Lamin bitaka wulo ko no nyinta mo Lamin
amandara fenela
ite diga ko di man si yakari lesuno la moy radio to e balon na
muneka ke afonde ba nyara ni alon
telentel jikot
afonde ba munebe ke
ite balontel be jikritel ni man karambe ku kele yaje nata karana mbasa mala ya itarije
par ñarande kombo courant ho findira kombo ide nara yede ni sonka bay ko Lamin manyata la wulo ko adu karamol be so da fa membe kala
ko to wole nati ba ngal le Lamin kuntala kombo courant o ka fa me kombo courant asototal wala kinay ko e sisu ko no bari ni ko e sisu ko no ibe karangol dike la radio lin telel to hani tele masoto to nyaay man tele soto la bongo bar radio be bulen ko to batiri sanga ay si ay alamo
sa do kala nyaadi
ko ta o bulaji
abe o kala nyaadi
kamun ke nyaadi
radio abe wala moy la ibe mona falaje
ibe la karandirol kala jele
ti talle be radio ko men ka karande
ila subject ro baby jele baby jele
wala nanga coco moy fa dan so wolya ngombe tambi kana ngadi ni wolje be ikadum bungo de ko kada mama mo
asototal de
Lamin mala be karawala de
bari
laftalal ideal on ko inde every year second wala fourth
muna ni ko nde ko folle sini lamba nde le sini lo ne ba
mbasa mba foke en koto wole fango yen wulindi yalo famo keta bat yu fana bulata ko me yen nati jambi Lamin nyanta karana ntel be jiko be nyineka ya bulay kara wulo kana ta kilar ya bambalo yo be bulaje koto dinni ngoy si ayala le sino la moy radio
wara ka munda kara mo man soro Lamin nyanta kara si so na radio
la sila le ayala le sino
dal ko korno ko smolon
kilar ya
mo be ngala ko momo sa mi do ni ko no kera
mengi bruso
ndebe ko do la ba rosa no radio ba no bari woro radio ni abe jele ba do ngamra do man dembe buljan dala nyara nyar wo fara ko fendi mo la Lamin tayra ba rosa
bara te ku folo ajibe nori nya labi tamete ku
teku
bari ko do famo ke
imagine nani nyambol sizol le keje kisiki man sizol no le kafun ka nyoma bari nyambu kino ni manya na kafindi ni nambe ko rozor la ga
ngalle limbeta de be nyambo do dilanna
nyara ni ko rin fennat nyara nata
bari famo ke da
ngata bungono tambi bungono nyara ngando ko fele ko ke baru nganda ni pelo landi jak
iyo awe beter la
bungono bismillah bisu diara
pendulala yefungo tanka sina dolu tanka korota korota
Good morning, viewers and listeners. Once again, is your friend Alaji SMU come to give you your second lesson in economics. But before we start the second lesson, in our previous lesson, you were given a question as an assignment to work on, which was the WAS May-June 2013 question 2. So that is the one I will solve with you. You compare with your work to see whether what you have done is right or wrong. So I'm assuming that as at now, all of you have gone through the question. But notwithstanding, still now, we'll show you the question and before we go to the solution. So here the question says the table below shows the scale of preference of a student, Mr. Smith, whose disposable income is $7. Use the information in the table to answer the questions. So the table is the scale of preference of Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith is a student. So his scale of preference, the first choice he has there is textbook. The second choice is a shirt. The textbook is costing $5. The shirt is costing $2. Followed by shoes, which is costing $3. Followed by a trouser, which is costing $3. We have the notebook, which is costing $1. So the questions which are asked is one, we say, what will Mr. Smith spend his money on? And we are asked to explain the answer in question 2, A Roman 1. B, what is the opportunity cost of Mr. Smith's decision? And we are, that is what? The opportunity cost on 2A Roman 1. And Roman 2, we are asked to explain that answer in 2B Roman 1. C, if Mr. Smith's disposable income increased to $10, what will he spend it on? What is the opportunity cost of the decision? That is what? When the income increases, which new opportunity cost are you going to have? It says we define scale of preference, which we have done in our previous lessons, and what is the importance of scale of preference. So here in our solution, we have A. At A, we say Mr. Smith will spend his money which is $7 on textbooks and shoes. So when you look at it, those are the first two choices on his scale of preference, and those are the one equated to his $7 because textbook is costing $5 and shirt is costing $2. What is the reason? He says because those are the best choices his income can buy, the best choices which he can buy from his income. So B, he says Mr. Smith's opportunity cost will be shoes, which is costing $3, trouser, which is costing $3, and notebook, which is costing $1. Why is this choice Mr. Smith's opportunity cost? Say because those are his second best choices based on his income. What does that supposed to mean? It means that if at all Mr. Smith does not choose the first two choices to spend on his $7, then those are the three choices he will spend the $7 on. Because if you add the cost of those choices, it will be equated to $7. So C, we have if Mr. Smith's income increases to $10, then he will spend it on what? Shoes. the increment now he will spend it on shoes. So when you add the $7 he spent on textbook and shirt to the $3 which is the cost of the shoes, that's what will give you $10. Then the increment, Mr. Smith will spend it on shoes because that was his third best choice. Now we look at the opportunity cost there. What will be the opportunity cost? So the opportunity cost now will be trousers, books, and school fee. But of course, school fees is going to advance because when you add $3 plus $1 plus $7, that is going to give you $11. But Mr. Smith's income is $10. Put that at the back of your mind. It's $10. But it's possible that Mr. Smith can give an advance of $6 on his school fee. Therefore, hence he could have done that. Then, therefore, the opportunity cost will become the trouser, the notebook, and the school fee. So basically, this was the calculation part of the question. When you look at the other two questions below, those ones we have treated them in our previous lesson, which is what? The importance of opportunity cost and the definition of scale of preference and opportunity cost, the importance of the scale of preference. So if you refer to those ones, then that will not be a problem. But now the calculation part, this is the answers of that assignment. So we thank you very much on that. For those who try, I will thank you very much. Those who don't try, I will also ask you to try next time. Today, we are going to look at the production possibility curve of frontier, which is called in short the PPC or the PPF. So the production possibility curve is the concept of opportunity cost. You know, it is used, is the best way in which the opportunity cost has been explained by economists. So the concept of opportunity cost is best explained in the production possibility curve. So the production possibility curve is a graph showing the combination of different commodities that can be produced in a given economy using available resources and technology. So you will see that here, what we will be doing is we are going to be comparing two commodities that an economy can produce with a given resources. So the production possibility curve is also known as the opportunity cost curve. Put that in mind, bear that in mind. Whenever you hear or see somewhere the opportunity cost curve, know that is referred to the production possibility curve. This is a diagram of the production possibility curve. This is actually the production possibility curve. When we look at the production possibility curve carefully, you will see that points are given. You have the curve, points are allocated on the curve. One is allocated under the curve, another one is allocated above the curve, that's below and above. Point A, B, and C, all of them are on the curve. But you will see that point E is below the curve, and point F is above the curve. Some students, they find it difficult to understand this. When you look at the value given, we have commodity Y and commodity X. We use X and Y because this is telling you that any two commodities can be used. So you see already that commodity X is 1 to 10, commodity Y is also 1 to 10. Now, for example, if commodity Y is more expensive than commodity X, which means that you have to forgo commodity Y, for example, 1, and have 2 commodity X. That is what will make the graph concave, as it is. But if the resources or the 2 goods are being produced by the same amount of resources, that is 1 for 1, you will find out that the production possibility curve will become a straight line, because you forgo 1 and add 1. You forgo 1 and add 1. So it becomes a straight line, a straight graph. So don't be confused if you are given a straight line production possibility curve. It doesn't matter. So it is just telling you that these resources, they are used with, these 2 goods are produced by equal resources. That's what it means. Now, we are coming to look at now in detail the position of the points. We say the PPC have 3 position points. Points located on the curve, points located below the curve, points located above the curve. Each of them mean something, and that is what we are coming to discuss in detail. Points located on the curve, example, point A, B, C, etc. You can have more than that on the curve. Indicate combinations where all the resources in the economy are efficiently utilized. These points are called the attainable and efficient point. Now, this I'm explaining under the concept of an economy. Some students, they find it difficult to understand it at that perspective. But let me bring it down a little bit as an individual. Let me give you a simple example so that you will be able to use that example and extend it to the government level. You as an individual, for example, you are having $10. You are having $10. This $10 is, you want to buy 2 goods. You want to buy 2 goods. We can say you want to buy pens and you want to buy books with these $10. Now, let's assume that a pen is costing $2. A book is costing $4. So if we have our graph here, we can have pens here and we have books here. Now we have our numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 up to 10. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, books are at our vertical axis, pen are on our horizontal axis. If we choose to buy, for example, 5 books, or let's say we choose to buy 2 books. Let me change the value here. Let me change the amount and make it 20, so that I can have the graph I need. So if we choose to buy 5 books here, then we will not buy any pen, because 5 books is equated to $20. So please, I change the $10 income to 20. Take note before you are relying on the 10 I said. Now, if you take all the $20 and buy 4 books, then you will not buy any pen, which means you have devoted all your resources on books. Now, if you want to buy a single, if you want to buy pens, if you forgo 1 book, which means you now buy 4 books, how many pens can you buy? You can buy 2 pens, isn't it? Then which means that here, the graph will extend and come here. Now you forgot only 1 book, you were able to have 2 pens, which means the amount to buy books and the cost of the book is more than the cost of the pen, or the cost of the book is twice the cost of the pen. Now you buy 3 books, you will able to buy 4 pens. If you buy 2 books, you will able to buy 6 pens. If you don't buy any book, you will able to buy 8 pens. When you look at the graph, it's like this now. Now let's look at the points. Going back to the curve I gave you, A, B, C, these points you see now, assume that A is here, B is here, C is here. They are all on the curve because when you look at, if you buy 4 books and 2 pens, your money is finished. Then you have used all your resources. Again, if you come and buy 3 books and 4 pens, your money is finished. Then you have used all your resources. You can buy it, but once you buy it, your money is finished. Then you have used all your resources. But now, let's look at the point under here, where we have 3 books and we have 2 pens. 3 books is how much? $12, isn't it? The 2 pens will be $4 plus 12 will give you 16. Then you have a change of $4. Where do you put it? That's why we say these points under. When you look at them, all of them, each of them, you can buy on those points, but when you look at it, all your resources are not used, then it's not efficient. But now, let's assume that on top of the curve here, let me link this curve, this point, I link it with 4 books. When you look at the point come here on 4 and goes down to 6 pens. 4 books, a book is costing how much? $4, that is $16. Pens, a pen is costing $2, that is $12. 16 plus 12 is more than 20. Then you cannot buy that. So that is what represent now the points, all these points above the curve. Which means that they are efficient. Yes, it's good, but your resources are not enough to reach there. I understand. So this is what the production possibility curve is highlighting when it goes also to government level. The constraint you face here is the same constraint the government face on the production possibility curve when they are dealing with 2 expenditures, 2 goods, the production of 2 goods. Farms do the same thing. Now, hence we know that, let's look at now our point A. We say it's called attainable and efficient points. They are attainable. Look at them. All of them here, using this example. But now point located below the curve here, when you look at the example point E, which means point E is under here, they are attainable, but they are not efficient. Because when you produce on those points, all your resources are not used. Some of the resources are wasting. That is why they are called inefficient points. They are attainable, but inefficient. That is your point E. You can label it any letter you want. Please don't confuse on the labeling. Different books label it with different letters, but just know what the points represent. That's what matters. If you want, you put Z there. If you want, you put M there. But just know that the point is all below the curve, and points below the curve are always attainable, but they are not efficient. Some books they use feasible. It's the same. Okay? So we go to the third one. Points located above the curve, which is here. Now, based on the diagram I gave you below, now I will put my point F here. You know that based on the example I gave you, the person cannot buy at this level, then those points, they are efficient, they are good. But the problem is, you cannot reach there. There are conditions which can make a person to reach there, which we will discuss in the future. That's where we are dealing with the shifting of the curve. What will cause the curve shift? That is next. So the shift of the production possibility curve. The production possibility curve can shift outwards. What will make the production possibility curve shift outwards is when there is an economic growth. An economic growth, what is an economic growth? Is when the production of the country, when the country can increase their production. We say a shift of the production possibility curve to the right indicates an economic growth, as more resources now have been used to produce commodity A and B. So now they have more resources. Hence they have more resources, they can produce more. They can produce more of A, they can produce more of B. So here, we can assume that when we are looking at government, but when we come to the human being, which I am talking about, which I was talking about here, then your good A will be the books, your good B will be the pens. So the economic growth to the individual now will become when the 20 have changed. For example, the person no more have 20, but the person have $30. If the person have $30, the person can buy more of books and the person can buy more of pens, then you will see that the curve will change outside. That is what indicates the outward shifting. It always indicates an economic growth. An economic growth is when the potential of the economy increases. Now we go to the next shift. When the opposite happens, you know, it shifts outwards previously. But also consider that an economics can also reduce in potential. That's why we say a shift of the production possibility curve to the left indicates an economic recession, because the economy is not producing at a full capacity. So economic recession can be when the economy have gone down, economic decretion. So that's what it means. They have more resources, they can produce more. Now they have less resources, they produce less. So that the less they are producing, it what makes the curve to shift inwards. Let's relate it back to our example. For example, now when the person was having $20, instead of being increasing, the person's income reduced to $10. Then the person could no more buy what he was buying. Then you see that the curve will come down. His buying potential goes down. The same thing applies to the economy. So that is the other shift we have. But we can also have another shift. When there is a shift in one side of the curve, that is when there is a shift towards one commodity. What does that mean? We say a shift of the curve to the right on only one commodity, as it is indicated on the curve, means that more resources are devoted to the production of one commodity than the other. So therefore, that is when government take more resources and devote it in one commodity and leave the other one. You will see that now the production of the other commodity will increase, but the other one will not increase. For example, if I told this person when the income increases, he put more resources on buying, more money on buying pens. You will see that now the curve will shift in the place of the pens, but that of the book will not shift because it doesn't increase production, buying books. That is it. So that's what causes that shift when there is one shift. Now let's use the production possibility curve to explain the opportunity cost. The last time, if you can remember, just some minutes back, I told you that opportunity cost, production possibility curve is also known as the opportunity cost curve. So therefore, we are using the production possibility curve to best explain the opportunity cost. It says increase in the production of one commodity will lead to a decrease in the production of another commodity. The amount of decrease is the opportunity cost as indicated below. That is the curve. So whenever you increase the production in one commodity, you will decrease the production of another commodity. By how much do you decrease the other commodity? Then that is your opportunity cost. That is what you have forgone. You forgone something to increase something. So the amount you forgone, or the quantity when it is in terms of good, the quantity you forgone to increase the quantity in the other good, that becomes your opportunity cost.